Hello again. So far I've tried to give you an expansive and a very broad-based insight into how I work, how I apply my principles, the scope of generalities, and then an extraordinary depth and dimension of specificities. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I am very privileged. I have a lot of very, very, very amazing friends all over the world in all categories of life. And I have a lot of business allies who are absolute masterful, world-class experts. And a while back, I brought a number of them together for a very interesting experiment. They are people I turn to myself for guidance, ideas, perspective on their expertise as it can apply to my life and my clients. And I had them come and address an audience of highly diverse entrepreneurs where I acted as the entrepreneur's advocate, champion. I posed questions. I asked very, very clarified, connective issues. I tried to take the most brilliant thoughts of these experts and translate them, apply them, and turn them into actionable, transactionable, specific elements people could run with in their business. The big problem is usually, wow, these experts have great sweeping general theoretical ideas, but I don't have a clue how to turn them into my business. Well, now you will. Watch and enjoy. I went to the Led Zeppelin concert and took 3 kids back in London. And it was an extraordinary event, and it was more impressive to me because of the passion and the just the exquisite experience. I thought, wouldn't it be great to bring a lot of people who've been to other programs back and have something which would bring old and new together? Because I think entrepreneurs today need clarity, they need passion, they need sort of booting reanimation. And I brought an eclectic group of speakers, and no one's selling anything, and it's really cool, and they're all trying to help from all kinds of vantage points. But you work with entrepreneurs all the time.
Yes.
What 2 or 3 things, you popped in unannounced, unexpected, I'm commandeering you for 5 minutes. If you were to move them to the greatest action you could in the few minutes you're here, what would you tell them they've got to do for 2 reasons? To accomplish more, to be better connected, have more passion, and make more contribution, or any of the above?
Well, I study this subject all the time, and I would probably summarize it in 3 things. Number 1 is you have to learn more stuff. And it's so important that whatever you know today is becoming obsolete at a rapid rate. We have a half-life of information today of about 2 to 3 years, which means half of what you know about your business will be obsolete in a couple of years. So you must be continually learning new things about your business. You must be studying what other people are doing, studying the internet, attending. And I've listened to all of Jay's stuff. I love Jay. I think he's the best in the world. And every time I listen to his material, I get new ideas on marketing. Remember this, that all of business comes down to creating customers. All of business comes down to selling something. And selling something in an increasingly competitive world when there are a jillion other people who want to sell to that same customer and get that same dollar. So for us to stay ahead of the curve in marketing, we've constantly got to be learning more and more about what we're doing. And so if you're not getting better, you're getting worse as it goes. If you're not upgrading your skills, you're actually falling backwards. So learning more stuff is the most important thing. Now, the second characteristic of top entrepreneurs is they try more things. And this is really important. You've all heard of the book, I guess, The Secret, which is very popular. And I read that book, and I was a little bit bothered by it for a couple of reasons. First of all, most of the book comes from the first part of my Psychology of Achievement program, which I produced in 1983. Yeah. So if anybody ever read Psychology of Achievement, you'll know that all the stuff about laws and the way that I discuss and explain how the laws interact together is far more comprehensive than The Secret. The Secret's a wonderful marketing thing. The second part about The Secret, and this is what offends me the most, is that it suggests that all you have to do is have happy thoughts and you'll be successful. Just have a great picture and go home. And people are going home and quitting their jobs and saying, I'm just going to sit here and go and check the mailbox every so often to see if some money came. And what I say in my book, I wrote a counter to the book called Flight Plan. And Flight Plan is now in worldwide distribution. But Flight Plan is based on the discovery that when you get onto an airplane to fly anywhere, the plane will be off course 99% of the time.
Interesting.
And so the purpose of the avionics and the pilots is to keep bringing the plane back on course. And there will be headwinds, good metaphor, there'll be headwinds, there'll be turbulence, there'll be lightning, there'll be unexpected storm fronts, there'll be delays, there'll be reroutings and so on. You'll run out of fuel on the way to your goals. I was on a plane once that had 300 or 400 mile headwinds, and it flew for several hours. It had to actually land to get more gas.
Yeah.
It ran out of gas. And when in entrepreneurship, we know what we're talking about with gas, don't we? Talking about money. And I said, and so I said, now this is a perfect metaphor for success. So I came up with 3 points. Point number 1 is the key to success is to have a flight plan, is to have a clear goal that you're aiming at. Don't start off random. And the goal could be a certain level of income, a certain level of sales, a certain level of profitability, but have a goal and have a flight plan, have a business plan it out. Second of all, take off. Is have the courage to take off. Even though there's no guarantees, take off. Try more things. And try something. If it doesn't work, try something else. And then the third part of flight plan is make continual course corrections. Is keep making course corrections. Going right to left. Try this, try that. Try this, try that. So one of the things I learned from Jay that I so much appreciate, all the different marketing strategies. You try this. There's no guarantee that anything will work, but sometimes it's a combination of several things that works
Often
and
now
suddenly
it is.
explodes your business.
Yeah.
So some of you know that I did not graduate from high school, but in my 30s I took an MBA. And in the MBA program, you take a course called probability theory. And probability theory is really very hard course, but it teaches you that there is a probability that everything can happen, and it teaches you that you can influence the probabilities by doing more of the things that are going to make it more likely to happen. So if you learn more things and you try more things, you dramatically increase the probabilities that you will learn what you need to know and you'll try the right thing at the right time. If you learn less and try less, you lower the probabilities of success. Are you with me so far?
That's fabulous.
Now, so the third part is persist longer. And there was a couple of articles in Inc. magazine and in Entrepreneur magazine interviewing people who've made $100 million at a young age, $1.3 billion, this Zuckerman, this fellow. I mean, is what are the common characteristics? And they interviewed these people, and after they'd gone through, well, I tried this, and I learned this, and I got into this, and so on, every one of them finally said, well, the reason I succeeded was because I just would not give up. I simply would not give up. I just refused to quit. It was relentless persistence was the third key that made it possible, which also dramatically increases the probabilities that you'll get to your destination. So those are the big 3, is learn more things, try more things, persist longer, and listen to Jay.
You're so gracious. Thank you for stopping by. That's so sweet. Oh, I really appreciate it.